Hey everybody, and welcome to our first Values Assembly of 2021. So I'm going to start by sharing my screen with you so that you can follow the slides on the screen as we are talking, a bit more about what I'm talking about. So our value for the month is hope. And a year ago, we had our value for January was hope. And it does feel like a year ago was such a long time ago, where we were thinking about our hope for Australia, and we think about the fires and all the animals that were being injured in the fire. I hope many of you remember the fundraising activities we were doing. We did a cake sale. Lots of people bought in toys and games, and we were selling those, and we made lots of money that we sent off to protect the animals that were being impacted negatively by the fire in Australia. That's only a year ago, but it feels to me like such a long time, because lots and lots has happened in the last year. And with us being in this lockdown, we felt that having a value of the month for January as being hope again was really important, that we use hope to help us get through the challenges of this time and of lockdown. So what is hope? Well, the Oxford Dictionary definition is hope is a feeling that something you want is likely to happen. So you've got a feeling inside of you, and that what you want will happen, and that it's going to be a good outcome. But I like this particular definition. Hope is a wish in your heart of good things to come. That's a really nice way of thinking about hope, that the things that we think that we've got in our hearts or in our heads, those things that we're thinking about, are going to be good. And thinking, another way of describing that might be to say that we're thinking optimistically, we're thinking positively about the future and the things that have yet to take place. I like this picture as a way of remembering. So we've got the hope down the side of the screen, and then a little reminder that hope is about having only positive expectations. So we're thinking really positively about the things that are yet to come. Now, there are different types of hope, and of course, some of those things that we might be hoping for are for us, personal hopes, personal goals, personal hopes and dreams. So they might be learning goals, like I hope to be better at my times tables, or they might be personal goals in terms of how we manage situations. So I hope to show more patience. Then our hopes might be for other people, for people that we care about and people we love. I hope my sister gets the job she wants. That's an example of a hope for a loved one. Or I hope my nan is happy and healthy. So we often have hopes for people that we love, and particularly at this time when so many others are perhaps struggling with lockdown, or with not working, or with people being poorly. There's lots of people we'll be hoping positive things for. And of course, at the moment, lots of us are hoping for good things across the world. So hoping that we can live in a world of peace. That's an example of something that affects all of us. And I hope that we can be free from coronavirus, of course, is something that many, many of us will be hoping, not just in this country, but everywhere, hoping that we can be free from worrying about being ill, and free from the restrictions of lockdowns and things like that. And many of us just want to have just to feel that things are a little bit more normal, don't we? So there are different types of hope. So what do you hope for yourself, and why? What are your own personal hopes? What are your personal dreams and goals? What sorts of things are you hoping for yourself? Do you have any learning goals in mind? Are there things that you'd like to get better at? Because in this lockdown, what if you're learning at home or learning at school? Because we're not, it's not like normal school, whatever where you're learning, it's not normal, is it? Because obviously it's not normal to be learning from school using Google Classroom, and even the children in school, it's not like normal learning at all. So it's an opportunity to do some things differently though, and work on some of the things we might find tricky. So what are your personal goals? Are you hoping to get better at your handwriting, or learn those times tables that you keep getting stuck with? So what is it that you want to get better at? I hope for myself that I see my family soon, because I haven't seen them for quite a long time. And I'm also hoping that as a head teacher of this school, that I can help get us through this lockdown and keep our community together, keep us all connected, and keep us all learning as well as we can, whatever the challenges that we get through. And I know it's I can't make all of that happen myself, but I'd like to think that we can all work together as a community to try and do the very best we can. So that's my hope. Now, if we've got goals and we've got hopes, some of those things are a little bit out of our control. So when we're hoping that the world will be free of coronavirus, there are things we can do to help, of course, like following some of the rules and staying home and staying safe. But there are things that are out of our control and we can't necessarily do something about. But our personal hopes, our personal goals are things that we can impact on ourselves. They are things that we can work hard at. They are things that we can make a personal difference with. So how can you make your hopes and dreams come true? What things can you do? What would make a difference? Well, I personally believe a lot of it's down to our mindset. It's down to how we think. It's down to how good our thinking is and how positive our thinking is. And there's a quote here on the screen, which I've used many, many times, and I will continue to use many times because I think it's true. So Henry Ford, and you might have heard of Ford cars, he was the founder of Ford Motors. He's well known for saying this: whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right. So if you are approaching a difficult situation and you've already decided that actually you're not going to be able to do it. So for example, it might be that there's a maths question that you've got to answer. If you start thinking, I can't do this, oh, and you already start deciding that it's not going to be possible, and the chances are that you're not going to be able to manage it. Now, if you say to yourself, come on, I can do this, and you really give yourself a bit of a positive message and belief that you can do something, there's going to be far more of a chance that you're going to be able to tackle that challenge. So whatever your personal goal is, if you believe that you can achieve it, you're far more likely to than if you've already decided at the beginning that you're not going to have a chance. So so much of it is all about mindset and how we're thinking. I also like this quote: when the world says give up, hope whispers, try it one more time. And I do think it's so important that when things are tricky, that we do keep going, that we persevere, and that we are resilient. And hope and being optimistic is also about keeping trying when things are tricky. And I think that the current time is making things a little bit trickier for all of us in lots of different ways. And so being hopeful is also about sticking with things and keeping trying things and not giving up at the first hurdle. So how can we help ourselves stay hopeful? How can we help ourselves stay positive? Having an optimistic attitude, a positive attitude, definitely helps us achieve those things and stay in a better mindset. So you will see there's some musical notes on the screen. And one of the things that can help lift our mood and make us feel more positive and hopeful is music. Whether that's putting on some loud music and having a good old dance to it, certainly that's something that I enjoy. And if my son and I are having a bit of a grumpy morning, sometimes the best thing we do is put on some music and have a bit of a dance around the bedroom, which you can imagine for yourselves if you'd like to. But it certainly gets us into a much happier mood when we're feeling a bit grumpy in the morning. So it could be dancing to music, listening to music, but also taking part in music, performing music or singing. So those things help lift our spirits. And we're very lucky that Mrs. Robinson has offered to continue doing our music assemblies on a weekly basis during lockdown. So whether you're learning at home or learning at school, those are going to be shared with you. So you can enjoy those and carry on enjoying music. So that's one way of staying positive. Another thing that helps us to stay hopeful and positive is by being active. So we know that Joe Wicks has been doing lots of his workouts, and lots of children across the school have enjoyed those at different times. And that's that first picture on the left. You've got Joe Wicks there and a couple of children taking part. And those I know are starting again next week on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays. So it might be that getting active helps your body feel a bit better, and it also helps your mind, because physical activity releases hormones that make you feel good. But if Joe Wicks isn't your sort of thing, or you still want to do some other ways of keeping active, on the right is a suggestion for you, and I know Mrs. Gallagher is going to be promoting this as well. There's a website called Get Set for PE. If you did the Rainbow Games last year, it's the organisation that organised that. And there's lots of active families games. So there's things that you can do outside. So that very much picture looks very much like somebody jumping in a muddy puddle. But there are also activities and games that you can do inside the house using various objects and everyday things that you have around you. So we are going to get some demo videos of those made and share those with you, but do have a look. I'll send home the link for the activities, and you can have a go at those at home, and in school we'll also share some of those games and ideas with you as well. So keeping active, whether it's doing a workout, playing a game, running around, going for a jog, going for a walk, all those things, staying active really does help us feel good and stay hopeful. Now, another way of staying positive and doing something we enjoy, whether it's and being creative. So that could be about being creative in terms of our artwork or painting and drawing, sketching. It might be model making, even using Lego, or if you're creating your own things out of modeling materials that you have. All those things can help us feel good. And actually, when we're pleased with the finished product, that can also help us stay really positive and optimistic, because it's just an enjoyable activity. And I've got a challenge for you, which is our Hearts for Hope challenge, which is something I hope you'll enjoy doing. So I hope you feel hopeful, but also the finished product, which is the aim is to achieve something very much like you can hopefully see in front of you, which is a collage or a collection of different photographs of heart artwork. So that is what we're going to be aiming to achieve as a whole school. And I'd like everybody in the school to take part. I'd like every adult in the school to take part, and every child in the school to take part. And that's whether you're learning in school or whether you're learning from home. So the idea is that we collect together all these different hearts and make one big piece of artwork. And I think there'll be a nice reminder of this particular lockdown. So you can see on the screen here some different ideas to kind of get you thinking. So if you just Googled heart artwork, there will be plenty of ideas for you on Google. I've just did a bit of a searching as I was putting this together, and there's so many different ideas that you can go with. But whether you want to use paint, whether you want to do some sewing. I know lots of children in Key Stage 1 and Year 3 and 4 did sewing last term when you were making your little Christmas decorations and your puppets and things. So you might want to, if you've got some scraps of fabric around, you might think, oh, actually, yeah, we can have a go at sewing something. The design at the bottom, which is lots and lots of bits of coloured paper that have been sort of curled together and quilled together to make this sort of heart design. It's very clever. It probably takes quite a bit of time to persevere to get the shape you want, but that could be something that if you fancied a challenge, you might fancy trying something different. The idea at the top is that we've got some little twigs there. You could just find some natural materials and create your own image that way. And the picture on the bottom right is where just an idea of where a simple heart template then has been divided up and coloured in different ways. So it can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. But the idea is that first and foremost that you create your heart drawing, painting, sculpture or model using whatever you'd like to do, but make it nice and bright and cheerful as if you can. As you can see in the final piece of artwork at the bottom there, I think what makes it effective is all those different colours that are there. Once you've created your model, you then need to take a close-up photograph that shows the heart clearly in the centre of the photo, and you need to do that if you can in natural light. So you might even want to do that outside, or by a window, so you get a nice clear image. And if you need some help with taking that photograph, then obviously perhaps ask somebody at home to help you. Then that photograph needs to be emailed into the class email address or to info@chorley.surrey.sch.uk, and that email then will come into the office and I will get to see that. So we will collect all those photographs together, and then the idea is at the end that we will create one whole piece of school artwork with all the photographs that come in. So I do hope you have fun and enjoy our Hearts for Hope challenge. Now, before I finish, we are going to continue having our dojo drive in school. I know these are not normal times, but we're trying to keep as many things normal as we can. And I think we felt that in these challenging times, it was really important for our dojo drive to be that we do keep trying, even when things are difficult. So whether you're learning at home and you're finding things a bit tricky, or you are learning in school, I'd like you to really keep going, even when things are hard. And remember, if you're finding things that are tricky at home, then there are lots of ways that you can ask for help. And so obviously, you know, if you've got an adult at home who's helping you with your learning, you can see if they can help you. But you do need to remember that lots of the learning that we have in school now isn't quite the same as when your parents were at school, for example. And there might be things that can be sometimes a bit confusing if they try and explain things differently. So obviously, I'm sure they will be able to help in lots of different ways. But if there's anything that everybody's getting stuck with, try not to get frustrated. Remember where we are. You can always ask questions on Google Classroom, or you can send in questions to the class email addresses, and I know the teachers will be very keen to help you. So do keep going, everybody, and let's keep that hopeful, positive mindset as much as we can during this time. Well, I hope you all have a really good weekend. I hope we all manage to get outside and have some walks and clear our heads after what has been a bit of a roller coaster of a week. And I'll very much look forward to catching up with everybody next week. We will be sending regular assemblies home, so do keep looking out for those parent mails with the links, and please do join in. Very soon we hope to have some live assemblies and have the whole school connecting up on Zoom, but we need to we might give it getting Google Classroom started next week first before we start Zooming all over the place. Anyway, take care everybody, and I'll catch up with you very, very soon. Bye for now.